Now that you've learned how to do each of the paragraphs in the Bach Prelude, it's time to test them. I'm going to be doing this without the score, but you could do it with the score if you want to. We're going to go through a multi-step process to try to build some dependability, improve our recall, and teach ourselves how to play each one of these sections comfortably and with consistency. I am here at random.org. I have my computer up here to the right on the keyboard, and I'm going to be cutting and pasting a list of our phrases. I have a list of phrases, and I'm going to the list randomizer at random.org, and I've cut and pasted the list items. We have the phrase to establish tonality, the phrase beginning with the circle of fifths, the phrase beginning with diminished chords, the phrase transitioning from C to G in the bass, and I'm going to change that now to transitioning from C7 to G in the bass. Then I cut the long pedal point paragraph into two parts. We have our G pedal first half, and that's going to end with our suspension, followed by the G7. And then I'm counting the diminished chord as the beginning of the second half of the pedal point paragraph. That's another line item that we'll be randomizing on this list. And then finally we have our phrase beginning with C7. That's going to finish the piece. The list of phrases to randomize will be in the description, so you can cut and paste it into random.org yourself as well. I press the button at the bottom under part 2, go. I press the button randomize, and now I'm going to try to do it in this order without the score. I'm going to take as long as it takes to recall these parts. And in fact, for an exercise to teach you, I'm going to go ahead and just play the beginnings of these phrases just to see if I can remember that much, because getting your foot in the door, just starting a phrase, you're already halfway there as long as you've practiced it well previously. I'll just play the beginning of these phrases on second thought. We have our phrase beginning with diminished chords. That's the first item in this newly randomized list. Now there's the phrase to establish tonality. I'll just play the beginning. This stuff is clear in my head after making this course for you, so I'm just going fast. Phrase beginning with C7 to finish the piece. Oh. Look, I thought of the C7 phrase with the transition first. So it's good I'm going through this pattern, because now I'm remembering that there are, for sure, two phrases that begin with a C7 chord. Okay, then we have the second half of the G pedal phrase. I don't want to stop, but let's stop anyway to save a little time. It's good to have self-control. The phrase transitioning from C7 to G in the bass is list item number 5 after randomization. That wonderfully spicy suspension there. Then we have the phrase beginning with the circle of fifths. Goodness, I would hate it if anyone played this D chord in the right hand without finger 1 on the F sharp, because then you're missing out on the easily memorable pattern of fingering where after you play the octaves, you get to do a first inversion chord with finger 1 on the bottom. If we can, it's great to use consistent fingerings. And then there is the phrase with G pedal, the first half. Sometimes I have trouble remembering this one because the right hand chord is a G chord and I'm going to be using 4 on the top, and that's just not something we've done much in this piece. Okay, so I've tested the beginning of each of these phrases, and I'll go back now and try the phrases complete. Okay, I press the go back button and I see my list is still there at the list randomizer. Randomizing again. Okay, now we have our 7 sections that we're testing, and they're in a different order now. I'll play the complete sections now. Our first item on the list is phrase with G pedal, second half. So it's going to start with the diminished chord. I felt a little stumbles in my brain there, even though my fingers didn't make any obvious mistakes. So it's good I'm doing this, and I probably need to slow down. Phrase to establish tonality. Third item on the randomized list, phrase beginning with diminished chords. I like those long phrases with the satisfying cadences. Then we have phrase transitioning from C7 to G in the bass. This is a short phrase. I called it harmonically dense, and it is a shocker how it has 2 diminished chords in a row. I had to go slower on that. I do often feel a little uncomfortable with finger 2 on B flat. I should probably test this phrase just throughout the day, come to the piano, try it once, see if I can play it on the first try. Also, test this phrase by, sometimes whenever I'm doing that, trying to play a little faster than I think I can, just to see if I can develop some trust and to learn how to play it quickly, even though I might not think I can. On to phrase with G pedal, first half. That is the 5th item in our list. We have 2 more after this. The 6th item is the phrase beginning with C7 to finish the piece. Oh, second try. I was busy thinking on the first try. I was thinking about adding absolutely no rubato, just seeing if I could, and I couldn't. So that one did not hold up to the test, because it's really that first try that matters a lot. By this point, I've learned this piece a lot of times over the years, so that's a good indication, a good diagnostic that that part is not good enough whenever I'm going very fast mechanically and thinking about other things, thinking about showing off. On to the phrase beginning with the circle of fifths. That's our last item on this randomized list. Okay, so we got some interesting information. We found out that one of my phrases, I didn't feel confident to play it quickly, and another one of my phrases, whenever I played it quickly, I had a slip on the first try. So that's some good information. I'll know that those 2 phrases need more testing. The other one stood up to the pressure fine, and so we'll be ready to go on to a next level. Soon I'll be making a video with whole phrases, but then the beginning of the next phrase. and we'll use random.org again, so that'll be pairs of phrases. And after we do whole phrases with just the beginning of the phrase that comes next, we'll be ready for 2 whole phrases in a row. And after that, I really think you're ready for the whole piece, because you'll be covering every possible transition, and you will have been doing it out of order. And if you're at the point of doing it without the score, then you're really in a good place. Happy practicing.